Looking to start a new business or enter into a new business, but you're a little confused about what the different titles mean within business leadership? Specifically, what's the difference between a partner and a shareholder in a business? In this video, we're going to go over exactly that question, and I'll be answering with at least 3 differences that can have a really big impact on which position, depending on which position you hold within, again, the leadership of that business you're either joining or starting, but having others join you with. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Pamela Metani. I'm a business lawyer and the founder here at Graphene Business Law, a law firm serving clients virtually and doing so throughout the province of Ontario, Canada. We work exclusively with business owners and entrepreneurs. So if you're a business owner or entrepreneur yourself, we welcome you to reach out for legal services, given that there's a very high chance we've helped someone with your exact situation in the past. If you're new to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up and click on the red subscribe button down below. Channel data shows that most of you watching this are not yet subscribed. Subscribe. It's free, timely knowledge that is relevant to you as a business owner or entrepreneur, and we post content multiple times a week here on YouTube. Now, what prompted this video? I recently had a client come my way, and I was really surprised with how interchangeably this client was using the terms partner and shareholder. And I had to make very clear to them that the 2 terms are not the same. They're different positions of leadership, if you will, or can be different positions of leadership within totally different corporate structures. So it's really important when we're having a conversation with somebody, including somebody that might be more sophisticated than you, and it's okay for you to know that they are like that, because then you could do something about your own knowledge and business sophistication, if you will, including getting legal help to be on your side. But it's important to know who you're talking to, and important to know that you're having the same conversation, especially when it comes to something as significant as your business structure or the structure of someone else's business that you're joining. So let's get into it. What are some differences between partner and shareholder? The first difference that I want to talk about is that these 2 different titles, if you will, come with different levels of involvement in the business, and they inherently come with different levels of involvement. Despite how much you as a partner or a shareholder may want to be involved, there are prefabricated ideas or constructs, if you will, of how much a partner or a shareholder is expected to be involved. Okay? When it comes to a partner, this is usually somebody that is really involved in the operations of a business. You are starting a business with another individual, for example, with a view to making profit together and being successful in this business. So how is the business going to be successful if you as a partner actively say, you know what, I'm not helping, but we're partners? Right? So that doesn't make sense. To be partners conventionally in a business, to be a partner in a business, there is a lot that's expected of you in terms of level of involvement. And there are caveats to this, keeping in mind this video is not legal advice. This is educational information. There are caveats to this. For example, general partnerships is what I'm talking about here, but there could be limited liability partnerships you might be entering into depending on your industry. There might also be, within the general partnership world, you might be designated from the start to be what's called a silent partner, somebody that's more on the investment side, less on the daily operations side. But without these caveats or disclaimers, if you will, the general expectation of a regular partner, which most are in a general partnership agreement, is that you will be somebody that is really involved in running that business. When it comes to a shareholder and your level of involvement, this can vary, including to being really involved. But I'll share with you sort of a logical exercise that was shared with me in law school, and that was the concept of stretching something to its logical conclusion. A conclusion, if you will, or the most extreme version of being a shareholder could be being a shareholder that does nothing. Are you still a shareholder? Well, arguably, yes, because for anybody that's investing in stocks here, that's exactly what you're doing with a company like Apple or Walmart. If you're watching this video, when is the last time you had to make a decision for Apple's future if you hold stocks in Apple? Now, it's possible you're somebody really high up at Apple, but generally speaking, holding shares within that company is not requiring you to be an active participant, to be actively involved. You just hold your shares and you watch the value either go up, down, or stay the same, okay? And it is that, again, inherent expectation of a partner versus shareholders that at the root varies, with the partner being expected to be much more involved and with shareholders not needing to be involved almost at all in some examples. Again, with the average person that holds shares in a publicly traded company, for example, not needing to do much at all. Can you be involved as a shareholder? Yes, you can. That's going to depend on your shareholders agreement. That's going to depend on other nuances, including, of course, legal documentation to evidence what your responsibility should be. But is it expected of you? Not for the average shareholder. The second big difference that I'm going to talk about, of course, we're in business to do what? Make money. And being in business to make money, one of the necessary questions that needs to be asked is, what are the financial responsibilities required of each person, partner or shareholder? A partner, again, within the general partnership situation or setting, a partner is going to be somebody usually that is expected to do what it takes to have the business succeed. That's why you're in business with your other partners, to, do what it takes, to do the thing it takes to flip a profit and have your partnership make money. If you are a shareholder, let's stick to you holding shares in Coca-Cola or Walmart, for example, that example. If you're a shareholder of a company that's not doing well, are you expected to take a phone call in the middle of the night holding one share in Apple and talk about, Apple's strategic direction for the next quarter? No, you're not, and you would never think that you would be, right? So there are many examples of being a shareholder out there which don't require you to contribute financially beyond that buy-in of shares required to have made you a shareholder in the corporation. I want to be very careful here. There are ways in which a shareholder, especially in the small business sense, can be asked to contribute to the business, can be asked to play a more financially active role. And that's going to depend on a very close reading of the shareholders agreement you're signing, for example. What is expected of you as an individual viewer with the undertaking you're in. But know that at the crux, shareholders are not expected to contribute financially to an undertaking beyond their initial buy-in in the way that a partner is. A partner, just as the term sounds, right? I mean, people have life partners. Partners are expected to do their part. Whereas for shareholders, it is, I feel, a position intrinsically designed to be more passive, but you can choose to amp up the responsibility, although you don't have to. The third big difference we're going to be looking at is going to be that of liabilities, right? So we've talked about positive time involvement so far, actively needing to be involved. We've talked about positive financial involvement, actively needing to contribute to something on a daily, if you will. Now we're talking about liabilities, so the negative side. What happens when money is due? What happens when there's not enough money? We need more money. On that front, partnerships in a general partnership can be required to contribute whatever it takes to keep that business afloat. There is no liability limits, including financial, that are inherent in a general partnership, the way that, for example, a limited liability partnership would have. But that tends to be more industry specific. For example, lawyers, you might have seen the term LLP, limited liability partnership, at the end of a law firm's title or name. You might have seen that with accountants. With general partnerships, it's not often appropriate for you to be in the LLP setting anyways. So we are dealing again with general partnerships, which will come with very thorough and significant liability implications on you as a general partner. On the shareholder front, Intrinsically speaking, shareholders are actually not generally required to be responsible for company debts. Again, stretch it to its conclusion. If you are somebody that owns one share in Apple, do you really expect the CEO of Apple to knock on your door? Would you have ever signed up to purchase that one share if you expected that the CEO would knock on your door asking you to fund Apple next quarter? My guess is likely no, because you bought this share to make money. You didn't buy this share to be held liable for something. On the partnership front, you're supposed to be all in. You're supposed to be in a whatever it takes sort of mentality, generally speaking. And that whatever it takes, of course, could include that call to action of further funding being required. Or, partner just spent too much, like they made a bad decision when it came to finances, and you could be liable to help bridge that gap of what the funds for the partnership should have been had this partner not acted in a certain kind of way. Of course, not going into details about whether that act was, inappropriate as per the vision and mission of the partnership and things like that. But again, generally speaking, so that this is digestible for you. If you're in the small business context, there's a chance that when you're buying shares into a company, you're buying more than one Apple share, for example. So that was that extreme. What if in the other extreme, you're a 60% shareholder in a company, so you're a majority shareholder? Can you be expected to contribute financially? The answer there really depends. It depends based on, again, what shareholders agreements you're signing, what indemnity agreements are in place for you in that shareholder, in that core company structure. Indemnity, again, being that general concept of who's holding who harmless if something goes wrong as regards third parties, for example. But intrinsically, it's not something that's expected. Those are items that can be negotiated in the shareholder sense, whereas in the partner sense, it is expected oftentimes that you will be contributing financially, even when being asked to contribute more than you thought you would, given current company debts or liabilities, any of those terms, which basically mean more money now, okay? If you are confused about the difference between partners and shareholders, it's really important that you do seek legal advice prior to signing one of those agreements, because they can come with such significant impact. I mean, again, from all the way to not worrying about anything as a shareholder in some of our examples, to needing to literally do whatever it takes to keep the business afloat as a partner in a general partnership. Make sure you understand what you're signing, and of course here at Graphene Business Law, we can help you navigate those waters. If you think there's something I've missed, or if you think there's a difference here that really is super important and something you've noted in your own experiences in the small business world, go ahead and feel free to comment down below. I love reading the comments you guys read, and I know others in the community read them as well. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, so someone's reading your comments, I assure you of that, and it makes a difference to somebody. And you might even find yourself learning from a comment somebody else has left under one of these videos. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I think there is a lot of confusion out there on the difference between partnerships and or being a partner and being a shareholder. I think when you Google what a partner is or what a shareholder is, there can be some articles that are helpful in terms of understanding each of those titles in the linear, isolated sense. But when you Google what is the difference between being a partner and being a shareholder, I found that those resources were a lot less informative and meaningful. So I hope this video can add some value to one of you watching. And of course, if it did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe. And I thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week.